from an adventure in the beaches, this is City TV Everywhere.
High School prepares for their winter carnival. Hot stuff.
Brad here is like the most amazing singer. You're watching Toronto Rocks on City TV.
Welcome to Toronto Rocks, and welcome once again to the start of another exciting week.
Toronto. VK on the beat, check. I'm in Toronto where you wanna get a city love. I'm from Toronto where you wanna get a city love. I'm in Toronto like we wanna get a city love. My city love me back for my city love. I'm in Toronto.
Welcome to episode 1749 of Toronto Mic'd, proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Toronto's Waterfront BIA. Check out what's happening on Toronto's waterfront this summer. Blue Sky Agency, the official distributor of Silent's quiet, comfortable, and customizable office pods. Create sanctuary within your workspace. Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. Playoff action Friday night. That's tonight at Christie Pitts. Be there, 7:30. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. I saw Neil Young the other night. I know that makes it sound like we had lunch or something, but what I mean is I bought a ticket and I saw him perform at the Freshwater Stage. In honor of Neil, that's what I'm going to call it. The Freshwater Stage. Neil opened with Ambulance Blues, the most Toronto of all the songs in his catalog, with references to the Riverboat Cafe, shout out to FOTM Jane Harbury, and the Isabella. It's a purely Toronto jam, but Neil never says the word Toronto. He says T-O. There are many great Toronto jams that don't actually include the word Toronto. Heck, Lowest of the Low recorded several of these. So then I started thinking, what are some great songs that actually include Toronto in the lyrics? I'll be okay if it includes Trawna or Toronto. I accept both. Let's begin with a few monster jams from FOTMs.
Said to ring you up when I was in Toronto.
That's Oakville's own The Kings, produced by Bob Ezrin. The album is called The Kings Are Here. And of course, the first two tracks, The Beat Goes On and that one, Switch into Glide, are supposed to be played together. If you ever hear one without the other, they're doing it wrong.
That night in Toronto, with its checkerboard floors.
From Oakville to Kingston, this is of course the Tragically Hip. Fun fact, this is actually the fourth single that the Tragically Hip released from Phantom Power, their 1998 album. The first three being Poets, Something On, and Fireworks. Bob Cajun won the Juno for Single of the Year, and it is absolutely a definitive Tragically Hip song. I warned you we were starting with three bangers from FOTMs. This is, of course, the number one Billboard Hot 100 hit, Informer by Toronto's Snow. So we've opened with Oakville, we went to Kingston, and here we are back in Toronto. I think it's safe to say this is the biggest song in the world to name check Toronto.
All you boys in the new Toronto wanna be me a little. All your exes know I like.
Much like Lowest of the Low, Drake sings about Toronto a lot. But like Lowest of the Low, Drake rarely says the word Toronto. He mentions places, intersections, he uses the 6, sort of the way Neil Young said T-O, or Cardi uses T-Dot, or Maestro Fresh West uses 416. Drake's got a song called 5 a.m. in Toronto, but that song does not drop the T word. This song is called Summer 16 and was released as a single to promote Views, the 4th studio album from Drake, but it actually is not on Views. And that reference to New Toronto is actually a shot at Tory Lanez. In fact, let's hear Tory Lanez and his song New Toronto right now.
Waving at you niggas like I hate it. My bitches love the ball, so now I live it. This that New Toronto, keep it driving away. Yeah, thank the Lord, I'm taking charge. I cannot forget.
Now when Drake says, all you boys in the New Toronto want to be me a little, it all makes sense. Tory Lanez, New Toronto from the New Toronto mixtape. And while we're talking Toronto hip-hop, here's Party Next Door.
I know you wanna break from Toronto.
So Party Next Door, born in Mississauga, based in Toronto. On that jam, he's talking about a break from Toronto. Here's Toronto's Chaos with a jam from Atlantis, Hymns for Disco. This is Aqua City Boy, all one word.
You don't know, grew up in Whippy, that's east of Toronto.
Used to take the jet to downtown to check the sounds of DJ.
This jam you're about to hear by Lily Singh and Humble the Poet is called Ivy, Ivy, I, which if you know Roman numerals and Super Bowls and Rockies have taught us well, Ivy, Ivy, I is 416. And this is a love letter to Toronto's diversity.
The dot, the 6 T-O, the code, the last T silent. Toronto, you know. When I leave the Y1Z, I always take a part with me. The 6 T-O, the code.
So a whole bunch of Canadian hip-hop references to Toronto, but let's hear a couple of hip-hop references from non-Canadians. Here's T-Pain with Lil Wayne in the mix.
I can put you in the condo, all the way up in Toronto. Baby, put you in the fur coat, riding in the Murcielago.
So T-Pain wants to put you in a condo in Toronto, but Ludacris wants you to know you're a beautiful hoe.
Now it's all happy endings on my lap in Japan. Hey, I used to think that it was way too cold till I went to Canada and saw some beautiful hoes. Now I hit the Caribana every year in Toronto, then fly to Illinois and get a taste of Chicago.
Snow's Informer was number 1 on Billboard for 7 weeks, the biggest jam to ever name check Toronto. But Shawn Mendes is no slouch in that department himself, as If I Can't Have You went all the way to number 2. Old Town Road by Lil Nas X blocked it, and many other fine jams I'll add. Shawn's next single, Senorita, which doesn't mention Toronto at all, would go all the way to number 1. Shawn Mendes, of course, was born in Toronto, but raised in Pickering. Close enough.
Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? I'm in Toronto and I got this view, but I might as well be in a hotel room, yeah.
Speaking of Ontario peeps with global hits, Stratford's Justin Bieber name drops Toronto in Intentions, his second single from his 5th studio album, Changes, released in 2020. The ring he references here is, of course, the Toronto Raptors NBA championship of 2019. Flags fly forever.
You got the upper hand now. Don't need a sponsor, no, you're the brand now. You're my rock, my Colorado. Got that ring, just like Toronto. Love you now, a little more tomorrow.
I like the Beaches. Does it get more Toronto than a band called The Beaches? This song from their 3rd EP, The Professional, released in 2019, is called Want What You Got, and shouts out their home city. This song from the Beaches' 4th EP, Future Lovers, is called Let's Go, and it seems to be shouting out Etobicoke School of the Arts. Fun fact, the Beaches' biggest US hit, Blame Brett, is about Brett Emmons from The Glorious Sons. Margot's Cargo is a big Stompin' Tom Connors song for me because the video was played all the time on Much Music. In fact, it's the only Stompin' Tom Connors video I can really remember seeing. I'm sure Stompin' Tom name-checked Toronto dozens of times, but this is absolutely my favorite.
Now the truck was overflowing when Toronto hit the rise. The 401 was full of dung and the cab was full of flies. We're losing lots of money, Reg, we can't afford to stop. We gotta find the place that makes the cowsy dungsy clock.
I played Bob Cajun earlier, but it's worth noting Gord Downie dropped the T word in his solo work as well. But this song is from another great Canadian Gord, Gordon Lightfoot, who mentions Toronto by name in his wonderful Alberta Bound from his 1972 album, Don Quixote.
Alberta bound, it's good to be Alberta bound. Oh, the skyline of Toronto is something you'll get onto, but they say you got to live there for a while. And if you got the money...
And while we're in a bit of a country mood here, Toronto is one of the many places name-checked in Hank Snow's I've Been Everywhere. To be specific, this song was written by Australian country singer Jeff Mack way back in 1959, and it was popularized by Lucky Starr, but that version didn't mention Toronto. Hank Snow from Nova Scotia wrote new words to make it more North American. Here's Johnny Cash's cover of Hank's version.
I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa.
There was quite a bit of talk recently on Toronto Mic'd regarding Burlington Silverstein. You may remember the episode about In Too Deep, when Canadian punks took over the world. Silverstein's 8th studio album, I Am Alive in Everything I Touch, released in 2015, includes 2 versions of the song Toronto that indeed mentions Toronto by name. This is the unabridged version.
A stranger in my own home. I'm back in Toronto, but just till tomorrow. That's when the bleeding stops again. Put off all the feelings, forget all the meanings.
Hamilton's The Arkells dropped the T-bomb in Where You Goin', the second track off their second album, Michigan Left. That one came out way back in 2011.
They never took you to Toronto.
This list of songs that mention Toronto by its full and proper name is in no way definitive. I'll bet I've missed some obvious ones. And several have already entered your mind. You can always tell me at mike@torontomike.com, so I'll know for next time. I did notice the overwhelming majority of these Toronto name drops come from Canadians, so I thought I'd close with a Scottish band. Actually, I'm going to close with a song called I Don't Want to Go to Toronto by Radio Free Vestibule, but they're from Montreal. The Scottish band in question is Camera Obscura, and this pretty ditty is called Forests and Sands. You'll find it on Desire Lines, released in 2013. Radio Free Vestibule, now going by The Vestibules, won me over with Grunge Song. But I just had to play I Don't Want to Go to Toronto to close this episode. I hope you enjoyed these songs that mention Toronto. Go to torontomike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. And much love to all who made this possible. That is Great Lakes Brewery, Palma Pasta, Toronto's Waterfront BIA, Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball, RecycleMyElectronics.ca, Blue Sky Agency, and Ridley Funeral Home. I'll see you Tuesday for Toast with Bob Willett and Rob Pruce.
I don't want to go to Toronto. I don't want to go. All of the blocks are square. None of the streets are twisted. None of the streets are paved with bricks. There's too many elevators in Toronto. Not enough stairs in Toronto. Not enough stairs. All of the food in Toronto is made of edible oil products. They don't have bagels in Toronto. They have donuts. Donuts made of edible oil. I don't like donuts. They don't have bagels. I don't want to go to Toronto. People don't have faces in Toronto. They have cigarette ads instead. They listen to your phone calls. There's a tower in Toronto that controls people's minds. It's illegal to possess brightly colored balloons in Toronto. Illegal to own brightly colored balloons. All of the children in Toronto must wear suits. Even the girls, 3-piece suits. The buildings in Toronto have no windows. I don't want to go. Everyone lives in subterranean caverns filled with donuts made of edible oil. I don't want to go. Nobody goes to the bathroom in Toronto. They have a special operation. They have it removed surgically. There's a tax on all wicker goods in Toronto. There's huge buildings with no windows on streets with no curves. And inside you find little girls in suits running around with black balloons and munching on edible oil products. The kids don't have names. They have numbers which are assigned to them at birth. They're called 387.7, 412.9, and they all have cigarette ads instead of faces. I don't want to go to Toronto. I don't want to go. I have plenty of wicker goods. I don't want a tax on my wicker goods. I like going to the bathroom. I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to go to Toronto. I don't want to go. Do I have to go to Toronto? Do I? Do I have to go? I don't want to go.